T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978. This is the final Deluxe Class figure from Wave 1 of Transformers Siege, COG. COG is not just your regular Autobot Deluxe figure. He is what's known as a Weaponizer. That's why his back looks weird right there. I mean, you could put these guns back here, but they don't cover that. But that is an option. What I like about this line is, although there is a line-wide gimmick of the figures being able to be mounted up with a whole bunch of weapons and whatnot, each individual character doesn't have to conform to a certain thing. Like Hound and Sideswipe, and I said their names reversed if you don't know these characters. They're just two regular Autobot cars that transform from a vehicle to a robot, and boom, that's pretty much it. But Skytread here and Extra Zero showed me that this can happen if you force these arms up into that cavity. Skytread is a jet in a tank at the same time that becomes one robot. COG is pretty much the same, and before I missed this, Parts Former showed me that this cannon right here, his shoulder cannon that normally would go up here, can actually fit under here to fill out that space. Anywho, COG is not only a robot that can go from two vehicles into one robot, his whole body is able to split apart into various weapons, which each have names and whatnot. So let's just show you him as the robot and move on to all that. He comes with these two guns, and I love that he comes with two blasters. That's awesome. They are named the Circuit Welder. They're decently sculpted. They don't look really hollow. They sculpted them perfectly. My only issue with my particular figure is he does not hold them in his hands like well at all. So I constantly just put them in the side. And that's another issue I have. Since he's a parts former, he splits apart. This does not stay as well as I would like. When I first opened it, it wasn't a problem, but after like maybe one or two transformations, that got really loose. And this leg right here is meant to separate. He's sort of like a Build-A-Figure. This leg is very loose, whereas this one not so much. But it's meant to come apart. But just know, if you drop this guy on the floor, he is going to be in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. Just know that. Overall, his paint and detail is still nice, so I love it. Look at the different colors and whatnot, like the tires, the red right here, the silver. That's all great. But articulation, his head is just on a swivel. It's not on a ball joint at all. So it can swivel all the way around. Here's some detail on the back of his head. So that's good right there. The arms can fully rotate. They're in here just on a peg because of what he is. But the arms can go out, and this little fold right here can fold up to get his arm out that much. He has swivel and the elbows bend more than 90 degrees. So I don't think it's a problem with his ports as far as these guns. I think this is maybe slightly smaller than it should be, and I might have to put some floor polish on that. But it's cool his elbows bend more than 90 degrees. Like, even with the gun in his hand. I like that. No wrist rotation. He does have a waist built in, even though he combines the way he combines. That's awesome. The leg can kick out on the side. It's on this little soft ratchet because it's on a universal. It can kick all the way friggin' up like that. It can't really go back. It can go back a little bit, but it stops due to the way his butt is designed. This is on a peg, so that's a swivel. And the knee bends more than 90 degrees. I said and, but there's still more. He has ankle pivot. Crazy, crazy ankle pivot. So you should be able to get him in some good poses. I've been messing around with him, and I like some of the poses that I'm capable of getting him in. And he can look up a taste if you do that. But yeah, it untransforms that, and it makes his head all the way back. So I don't know how well that will look. As you can see here, you can probably get him more armed up than any other character because he has ports everywhere. He has ports on the inside of his forearm, on the outside. His hand, right here, the legs, his back. You can get things everywhere. And he does have a little stand port right there. Quick close-up on his face. His eyes are painted silver. And he's meant to go with Fortress Maximus. So if you have Combine Award, Titans Returns Fortress Maximus, you can put him right with that battle station. I have it. I don't feel like bringing him in here. And he can't fit on this review table right now anyway. But there's a close look at his details. Transformation / reconfiguration. Separate them. Pop this arm off. Pop this arm off. Flip his head around and bring it down like that. You have that part done, but we have to grab this arm. And what I like to do is, well, no, never mind. I want the silver on the outside, so we'll put that there and put this here like that. So now we have this configuration done. It's a 4-wheel little tank right there. Of course it can roll. And now for this part, we don't combine anything. You just rotate this like this, and this little tab right there should fit into the groove. If it's not going into the groove, it's because the legs have shifted off of this right here, and you need to just push it down until it stops moving. Grab these two guns, put them here, or put them here. Yeah, I like this better back here. And now we have this mode right here, which is a wheel with some treads, and it has a wheel back here. So yeah, they are what they are. This is what it looked like on the G1 toy, if I'm remembering correctly. The head is showing in the back, which is unfortunately... the head is showing in the back, which is unfortunate. They do have this little peg trying to block it a little bit, but they both roll. They're little tanks. And it has a secondary mode. You can combine it right here with that little tab. So good luck keeping that together. When I first saw this, I thought it transformed without parts forming, but it unfortunately doesn't due to the way they designed the arm. Comparisons, let's bring in Skytread's tank right there. So you can see it's about the same size. And let's bring in Hound. So there you are with that right there. You can do stuff like this and give him a side tank if you want. You could do that with any of the vehicles, I'm guessing, because they all seem to have ports on the side. Like even this dude right here. Let's make a triple tank. So they're all connected together. If this thing had ports, I'd be able to port him together. But one detail you couldn't really see, they have this cannon right here on both sides that's not painted silver, but that's there. So he's armed to the teeth. He can shoot forward, he can shoot backwards, he can shoot up. That's all cool. And of course you can still put like Micromaster weapons and whatnot on him if you'd like. Put them on the side. They might scrape on the ground, so I wouldn't put it on the side. I'd put his little guns right there. If you don't want him to be a parts former, but he's still going to be a parts former. You could leave the arms like this and have him be a tank like that if you want. If it bugs you that you have to pull his arms off and move him to transform him, you could just do this if you want. Now, before I start showing him in his weaponizer functions, I wanted to show him the name his base forms or whatever. This is called the Electro Scrambler. His arms are called that. And you already know what the arms look like. Pop them off, it's a gun automatically. The hand is still showing, unfortunate. If you separate the legs by pulling them off and just rotating his hips into here like this. This is called the HF Spectrum Disruptor. I guess that must mean high frequency, I'm gonna guess. One cool thing, this right here, that detail, that is awesome. It's like a second layer of plastic painted gunmetal with the yellow paint right there. You will never see that detail in robot mode, but in his little weapon mode, you got that, and that's really cool. His crotch part is called the Thermo Booster. So I guess you can hold this as a gun if you want to as well. But it just looks like this. This is just really meant to mount his other parts on when you combine them with the robot, but it is optionally a gun. So it's cool that they designed it like this in such a way. Now his upper torso, which is called the Neutron Synthesis Shield. You have to rotate his head. Unfortunately, you can't fold this down in there and do this. But if you put this like this, you won't see the face. But it's called, like I said, the Neutron Synthesis Shield. He has a little handle right here, so you can peg this onto other robots. And there is a handle right there. If you can peg that in and wrap this around somebody's arm, that's good too. But it basically just looks like this. It's sturdy, it's kind of heavy. Good luck. And maybe this is why a lot of the deluxe classes have really, really tight joints. And just because all the promotional imagery shows Sideswipe, I'm going to use Hound, but this is the defense loadout. If you have this like this, or this like this, put this right here, and take that peg and put it into the arm of a deluxe class figure. If you don't want the face showing, bring that down. It's still going to be weird. But right there, he has a shield. Now we take this part, and we take the arms there. You use the same port right here that's in this forearm. That's why that's there. And you can plug these here. And now he has this right here, which you can pull out. Each deluxe class figure has a port in their back. So you can put this onto the back. This stupid part moves. That's the problem with him. And now he has these cannons over his shoulders. And then we can take these parts right here, and each deluxe class figure has ports on the bottom of their feet. So now you can have these boosters. I don't know, maybe you can shoot out his feet, but it makes him taller for fighting bigger figures like Voyager class figures. And lastly, we have the guns. You can either hold them in his arm, but they're showing it recommending it. Hold them in his hands, but they're recommending it for right there. Of course, you're not going to have a lot of mobility with these back cannons unless you move these out of the way. So that still has hip functionality, luckily. So you can not only rotate this, but you can rotate these, and you can use all the hip functionality that you want to get. So that's cool. And even though they suggest this, you could do whatever the heck you want to do. You could have him hold it on his arm as a shield if you want. But let's get to the secondary loadout. For the offensive loadout, take his lower half, like you never ever transformed him. Bring these forward, like this, and take that peg out again. Port this into his back, and this is probably why they use Sideswipe, because this thing his back doesn't move on Sideswipe. Have this like this. Depending on how back heavy things are, I would kind of lean these forward, because these legs are full on deluxe class legs. They aren't hollow like the Battle Masters. Now we can take the arms, put the guns on top like that. Plug them into here, and oh yeah, you know what, this might counterbalance things when you put these here. Now that is black paint, so you may have to worry about that. And oh yeah, I didn't complain about this. He has the silver paint to show to you that he's been in battle and whatnot, only on this part of his arm. And it just looks like somebody was holding a silver Sharpie while trying to play with this at the same time. It looks a mess and doesn't look as good as the other rusty battle damage paint that's on the other deluxe class figures. Get that like that, and now we can just transform this shield into a gun, and boom, 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 boom. He seems to be a little bit too heavy for even Hound's arms, so there's that. Or, of course, like I kept mentioning and didn't show off, you can just use it as a shield. And now these are capable of combining with the Voyager class figures, which, I have now. Yay me. But they're really meant to go with the deluxe class figures so far. This dude especially. Why do I say that? The deluxes have one single peg in the back to make something like this look good. But Optimus and Megatron have two separate ports. Now, you can do whatever you want to do. You could just port it here and have it over that one shoulder. Or you could port it up here on his top ports. But I think they're mostly meant to go with the deluxe class figures. And even the feet really let me know that, because of the way this is centered. And I don't feel like doing extra work, but I guess I have to prove my point. Now you see how on Hound's foot this gun comes forward a little bit. It meets his toe. But on Megatron and Optimus, it's behind the front of the toe. Optimus is even worse because his feet are like this. So they peg all the way in the front like that, which looks awkward. And I know he wouldn't be able to stand up. Or you could peg it all the way in the back. So there's that. And then there's this option. I don't know. It won't be able to combine right. So there you are. I think that these will probably be compatible with people like Leader Class Shockwave. Maybe his armor could combine with them better than Deluxe Class Weaponizers. I don't know. Okay, what I didn't show off is these blast effects, of course, still work on any point that has like a little tiny little peg like that. Of course, it works with COG, so you don't have to worry about that. But anywho, COG is good. He just suffers because he's a gimmick transformer. Most transformers that have a specific gimmick, and in this case, he splits apart into different weapons and whatnot, that really hurts him because it makes him loose in certain areas, or he has to be a parts former to transform and whatnot. So that's the only thing I can complain about. Other than that, he is nicely painted, nicely detailed, and he has awesome articulation compared to what we've been getting in the past few years is with deluxe class transformers. So I'm satisfied, but I'm not as satisfied as I could be if it didn't have those issues that I complained about. So it's still, at the end of the day, a solid buy. So thank you for watching this. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here.
Click the videos. Click the videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click